Kamala Harris, of course, was a prosecutor in the state of California, and her prosecutorial record has come up over and over again. There have been some issues, including how she pushed to jail parents whose children had too many truancies in school. So I just want to show you her answer when she was asked about her prosecutorial record, and then I'm gonna fill in some details that she didn't want to get into. Take a look.
So I took the issue on. And I said, what we have got to do is pay attention to the fact that these children aren't in school and put all the resources necessary to get them in school and give their parent the resources, hold the school districts accountable. Why aren't the school districts raising the alarm and putting all the resources possible into getting these kids to school every day? And as a result of our initiative, first of all, nobody went to jail. And as a result of our initiative, we improved attendance by over 30%. And to put a fine point on this, when we look at the issue of education in our children, no child should be overlooked. And this is what the system does, guys. For certain kids, the system really doesn't expect much from them. That is a harsh reality in many places. And so when they're not showing up in school, the system just keeps moving. And I said, this is wrong. Let's put a spotlight on this issue and let's deal with it, because these children have a capacity equal to any child in any other school district. And you can best believe the community where I was talking about, a large part of those communities had an annual income, household income of about $15,000. You think of the children in those school districts that had an annual income of $150,000 or $300,000, you think the alarms would not have been raised if those children hadn't been attending school every day, much less missing up to 80 days of a 180-day school year? That's why I took that issue on.
Let me just give you a little more context into the question that was asked. The question was, do you have any regrets about your prosecutorial record? And apparently she felt the need to defend and also lie about the truancy policy because there were parents who went to jail. Come on, Kamala, come on. People have the internet. Like, we're not idiots. Like, we can look anything up. You can look it up within seconds. Parents did go to jail as a result of this. So for instance, there was a mother in Orange County who was jailed after her daughter was truant. She was actually under hospital care for sickle cell anemia. Ooh. And look, no one is saying that truancy is not a serious problem that needs to be dealt with. But it's all about how you deal with it. Do you go the punitive route and go after these parents as if they're criminals who are a threat to society and deserve to be behind bars? Or do you realize that there are Americans right now who are struggling either economically or with their health? And we need to provide resources to empower them, to help them, and do whatever we can to get their kids in class. Taking punitive measures is not gonna make the situation better.
You can best believe that a lot of those parents who were suffering or going through these issues where their kids were not going to school are probably underserved people in underserved communities. And we like to talk about the results, but we never talk about the cause. So when you're talking about the people who are gonna go to jail because their kids are not going to school, who only make $15,000 a year, if that, you're not talking about the fact that sometimes they don't have a car, they can't get a good job, they probably live in areas where their buildings aren't being taken care of. I come from that. So when we sit here and we talk about how we're gonna hold people accountable, I am really tired of people who are oppressed being held accountable for their own oppression. And that is why these conversations don't make sense, because when we have these conversations, we don't talk about the real issues. And the real issues are, why are these parents not taking their kids to school? Why are these parents only making $15,000 a year? Because there's a system in place that had it that way, and that is a result of that. That's where you lose me right there.
Can I also mention one other thing? So I mentioned a woman who had a health condition and she was jailed because of this truancy law that Kamala Harris championed. Okay, her name is Cherie Peoples, and she was actually arrested on the morning of April 18th, 2013. And you wanna know something? the cops not only arrested her, there was a perp walk and photographers ready to take photos of her. So if you go, Huffington Post covered this, they have the photos posted just to give you a sense of how we're criminalizing people. I mean, this woman had a health condition, and instead of asking some questions, hey, what's going on? What can we do to support you? We want to ensure that your kids go to school. Instead of going at it in that route, they decided to make a big spectacle of this as if she's some dangerous woman who deserves to be behind bars. This is disgusting.
And is she making sure that those schools have the proper the resources and that those teachers have what they need for the students, or are you just gonna target the students?
So that leads to my biggest concern about Kamala Harris, which is that she appears to be situational. So when she wants to brag to people, hey, I put people away, then we've got a poor, it's African-American woman, right? It looks like from the picture.
I can't tell, Cherie Peoples, I don't know.
From the picture, she appears to be African-American. Anyway, poor person, any way you slice it, look at me putting them away, right? Because I'm tough on crime. And she bragged about being tough on crime in 1,000 different ways, back when that was popular in politics. Now, she's running a Democratic primary, not so popular, right? And so now she turns around and says, no, I was trying to help them.
I'm just so sick of people, politicians specifically, insulting our intelligence over and over and over again, as if we're idiots who don't know how to Google something, right? Yeah. Don't lie to us in the middle of a town hall and say, no one was ever jailed for this. Yes, they were, yes, they were. They had to go through perp walks with photographers in their neighborhoods, as if they're dangerous criminals.
Yeah, number of bankers that had perp walks, 0.
That's right. Number of presidents that had perp walks.
That's right. And so remember, Kamala Harris let Steve Mnuchin off, but she busted that mom. She busted that mom, and she told photographers to show up as they came and handcuffed her. So you show me Mnuchin in handcuffs, and then we'll have a conversation.
Man, that really upset me.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.